All right, good evening, everyone. We're so glad that you've joined us for this new student webinar. We hope that the next hour or so will be informative. We're happy to take any questions that you might have throughout the evening. This evening, we had hoped to be streaming on Facebook Live, but that is not possible due to some technical issues that we're having. But please feel free to use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen to submit any questions that you might have for us while we are making our presentations. So my name is Steve Yeagley. I'm the Assistant Vice President for Campus and Student Life here at Andrews University, and also the one that will welcome new students in just a few weeks. So we're looking forward to having you join us. It's always an exciting time on campus, but we want to make certain tonight that you have the information you need to get everything done. So all you have to do is point those headlights to campus here in Berrien Springs, and you're ready to go. So let's begin tonight with a word of prayer, and then we will begin moving through our guests who are here tonight to present. Father in heaven, we are so grateful for each person listening to this webinar, for their decision to come to Andrews. We know there may be still things that they need to do to accomplish before they arrive. And so we pray that tonight's webinar will be a blessing, be very helpful to them. Please be with each of us as we plan for a new school year, and we pray your blessing upon it. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, I'm so grateful to have a number of campus leaders with us tonight. We are going to go first to our university president, Dr. Andrea Luxton, and President Luxton will make some general remarks and also talk about our plan for COVID-19 protocols this fall.
Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening. It's a pleasure to be able to talk to you for a little while. You know, this is one of the advantages of COVID is that actually it has taught us that we can do all of these remote events and talk to each other and set things up even prior to meeting. You know, Andrews is a great place to be. The mix of the community here is rich. And whether you are coming as a graduate student or an international student or an undergraduate student, a freshman, I think that you're going to find that this is a place that you will quickly find home, where you'll quickly find new friends, you'll quickly find something that fits you really well, that you can engage in, from sports, athletics, to faith-based activities, to service, to clubs, to whatever your interest is. I am pretty sure that you're going to find some other people here that you will connect with and just enjoy doing that. In addition, of course, to doing a study. And I know that too will be a really strong experience for you. And I'm sure that when you finish here, you will leave here as a person who is just really able to take on the world, be a world changer, as we say here. Over the last year, I know that wherever you have been, you have had to deal with the very unusual circumstances of COVID that we have had to do here also. And the good news is that as we start this year, we're in a very, very different place to where we started last year. We are not in an unknown. We feel there as a much clearer path ahead. Having said that, as you know, COVID has been on a path that goes one direction and then back on another direction, and you're never 100% sure where it is going next. So I want to share with you where we are and what we plan to do to keep you safe and at the same time give you a rich community experience. And I say that for now, and hopefully what I'm sharing with you will be how it will be in 6 weeks. but we also have to realize that things do change, and we have to be willing to change as things happen. So we are right now in the process of changing some of our occupancy back to full occupancy in our buildings and our classrooms. And when you arrive here, you will find that we don't have closed areas, that areas will be open, and access will be back to how we would want the university to be, to have maximum communication and engagement. We are still saying to everybody, and you will see it online, you'll be expected to sign off on it, we do still have a covenant of care. And that covenant of care basically says that at Andrews University, we are a community. And that community means that while our free choice is very important, and we want to uphold that too, also care for others is very important. And we accept that as a community, we do have responsibility for each other. How does that play out in practice? So what that means is this, and you have probably already seen our communication on our plans in relation to opening. We have recommended vaccination. We are not requiring vaccination. We do think that needs to remain a personal choice. But because of that, we also need to keep some protocols in place. So for those who are vaccinated and come to Andrews already vaccinated, there will not be a mask mandate. The only place we will expect everyone to wear a mask is when we are on campus vehicles, because of the close contact of everybody in that setting. There we will, just as in public transport around the country now, we will be asking everyone to wear masks. Other than that, those who are vaccinated will not have to wear masks unless they choose to. And I know that some people will choose to, and that is absolutely fine. We will also not have any required testing, unless, of course, you start having symptoms or start having challenges. And then we will ask you to make sure that you are not one of those breakthrough cases where sometimes someone can still get COVID, even though they're vaccinated. If you are not vaccinated, then we are asking you still to maintain some protocols inside buildings, inside public spaces, so not in your own rooms, residence hall rooms, but when you're in classrooms or in public spaces, we're still asking those that are not vaccinated to still mask up. And I know that everyone else is going to accept that. It's not a them and us syndrome, because I do know already that some vaccinated people will also wear masks. But that's what we're asking to make sure we keep as much safety as possible on the campus. We're also asking those that are not vaccinated to keep up a regular testing process. So once a month before you come, and I do want to emphasize that before you come. So like the airlines, 72 hours before you fly, you need to get a test to enter many countries, including coming back into the US from somewhere else. We're saying the same thing. 72 hours before you come, please get a test. Come with that test in your hands that says you're negative. And then once a month, we're asking you to retest just to make sure we keep on top of things. With the new variants that are out there, uncertainty of those, and the quickness and speed with which something escalates, we really want to make sure that we try and keep things under control. So that is the difference. We want you to have free choice. We also want to keep the campus safe, and we really, really ask that you will help us with this. We do not want COVID to control our lives, and there is so much at the Andrews to enjoy. There's so much for you to gain. There's so much for us to share together. We want that to be at its maximum. And so we ask you to help support us as we try and keep these processes in place and keep ourselves safe. So I'm going to pass over to other people now. But again, thank you very much for tuning in. And I look forward to meeting you in person very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Luxton. That was very helpful. So much hope in the air right now that we might be moving out of this pandemic, and yet there's still some caution, and we appreciate you heeding that as we seek to have a much fuller year in the months to come. All right, we want to move now to our Dean for Undergraduate Education, Dr. Amy Rosenthal, and she and her team are here and ready to help you with any academic registration needs that you might have.
Good evening. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to spend with us. We are truly excited to once again have students back on campus and in a much more familiar way than last fall. Now, I want to give a special welcome to our new undergraduate students. As Dean of Undergraduate Education, I work with all of our colleges that have undergraduate students. And so we want you to know that as a new undergraduate student at Andrews University, you belong, and you belong on a number of levels to a number of different groups that will be important to you as you go through your academic journey. So you belong to your college. We have 4 undergraduate colleges that have undergraduate programs. You may be a member of the College of Health and Human Services. You might be a member of the College of Education and International Services. You might be a member of the College of Professions, or you might be a member of my college, which is the College of Arts and Sciences. So you are an important member of that college. And then you're also an important member of your academic school or department. This will be the home of your major program, where many of your major faculty are located, and it's also the home of your academic advisor. Now, your academic advisor is a really important person on your academic team. They are the ones that are going to help you look through what to take, do a schedule, but even more important than that, they are there to build relationships with you, to talk about what your goals are, what your dreams are, what you'd like to do for a career, and the places that you want to go. Now, it's okay if you aren't sure about those things. In fact, most incoming freshmen aren't. If you're a transfer student, you're going to know more about where you are headed. But if you are a new incoming freshman and aren't sure what you want to do, what you want to major in, and what your career goals are, that's okay, because you also belong, and you belong with our Explore Andrews program. Now, our Explore Andrews program is built for incoming students and students who are making transitions to help find both their calling, their strengths, and what academic disciplines they might be interested in. And so if you're an Explore Andrews student, you will have a special advisor in the Explore Andrews program that will help you work through a number of these things while experiencing different programs, classes, disciplines that we have on our campus. We also, in the undergraduate office, team up with a lot of really important partners on campus. So student success is an important partner in the undergraduate education office. We also are partnering with the new Career Services Office, and you'll hear more about that as the school year begins. We also are partners with counseling and testing that have a wealth of opportunities and resources for you to, again, go through exploration, or if you're having challenges, to get that support. So the Office of Undergraduate Education is new this year. And so I want to take just a moment to let you know what kinds of things that we are there to help you with. So if you want to connect with the resources in your college, we can help you with that. If you're looking to connect with your advisor or need some assistance in contacting someone on campus, we can help you with that. If you're a new transfer student and your transcript hasn't yet been articulated formally, we can help you take a look at that and let you know which courses will likely transfer to Andrews University and which general education requirements have been met. We can also help you connect to any of the other non-academic resources on campus. So if you're looking for someone to answer the phone, answer an email, or you just want to stop by our office, it's located in Nethery Hall on the main floor. So come by and see us. Again, we are so glad you are here. Welcome to Andrews University.
Thank you, Dean Rosenthal. Really appreciate that. And we're excited about this new Office of Undergraduate Education because it brings together a lot of services for students, and I think is going to be very helpful to all of you. Next, we'd like to go to our Dean for Graduate Studies, Dr. Elaine Thorpe. Some of you may not know that we have over 50%, I believe, of our students, close to it, who are in graduate studies. So Dr. Thorpe, maybe you can give us a few words of advice in that direction.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here. Like Dr. Rosenthal, I want to say welcome to any student, whether they're undergraduate or graduate, who has made the wise decision to come to Andrews University. I'm sitting here in Berrien Springs, looking out the window of my office at a very, very, very green campus. Beautiful campus, flowers are blooming. And that will still be the case when you come in August. But I know at the graduate level, we have many of you who are connected to us either on an extension campus in many different places in the world, or who are taking online courses with us. We want to welcome you too. We don't care how you come to Andrews University, whether you're here physically or whether you're here remotely at another location, or whether you're with us virtually through an online program. You're always an Andrews University student. You always are valued, and you always will have support from all of the Andrews University infrastructure, whether that means your program, your advisor, your professors, or the Graduate Studies Office. So like the Dean of Undergraduate Studies, the Graduate Studies Office also has, we also have a centralized office that supports programs actually in all the colleges at Andrews University, because we also, to add to the list that Dr. Rosenthal gave you, we also have the seminary. The seminary does not offer undergraduate programs, but they offer some of our largest graduate programs. And also many, many programs through the seminary that are offered off campus in locations around the world. The College of Education, we also have a number of online programs and site-based programs around the world, and PhDs, master's degree programs in psychology and education and in leadership. And the College of Arts and Sciences, we have a number of master's degree programs in communication, in social work, in music. We invite you to explore. We have so many graduate options for you. The College of Health and Human Services. We have a number of graduate programs in PT, in physical therapy, in speech pathology, in public health, and the College of Professions with an MBA program that is extremely useful and designed to meet the needs of students in a changing world. We are a very diverse graduate school. As a matter of fact, Andrews University likes to say that we're a very diverse university, that we believe that we inspire students and help give them the skills they need to change the world. But we have also been changed by the great diversity of graduate students that we have from almost graduate students from every continent who come and study with us in Berrien Springs, but who are also studying Andrews University around the world. At the graduate level, there are a number of support processes and systems that we have in place to provide support, especially in working with you to make sure that you can make progress through your graduate degree. You'll work primarily with your advisors and with your faculty chairs of the programs and departments. But the Graduate Studies Office is here to provide support to lift you up and to lift up your, to help your department support you too. I'm going to invite you, if you're a graduate student, one of the things I really enjoy doing is during orientation, I have a chance to meet with you. And then at certain times during the year, I have a chance to meet with you too. I really hope that all of you will come and visit me in my office. I have 2 offices. I have an office in the administration building, but I also have an office in Bell Hall. And I hope that you will feel comfortable to come and visit me, to talk to me about any problems that you're having, because we want to make sure that you are successful here at Andrews University. Because we know that when you go out, whether you're a pastor, a social worker, a psychologist, a teacher, whatever you're doing, if you're going out with an Andrews University graduate degree, you're going out well prepared to serve the world. So I look forward to seeing you. If I don't see you face to face, I look forward to seeing you virtually or visiting you on your campus, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Andrews University. Thank you for trusting us with your graduate education.
Thank you, Dr. Thorpe. Appreciate that. And really, both Dr. Thorpe and Dr. Rosenthal, 2 of the warmest people you'll ever meet. And please do take her up on the offer to visit her in her office. But now we want to come to something that I know is important for everyone, and that is financial registration. It's not always easy to make your way through that process, but Linda Bedney and her team are here to make it as smooth as possible. So, now, Linda, please help us understand what this is all about.
Good evening, everyone. A couple things that I just want to tell you is where we're located. The administration building on the 1st floor level is where Student Financial Services is located. That is where you will find not only financial aid office, but also student accounts office. So we blended in 1998 to make it seamless to you and to make it easier for you. We do have 5 financial advisors, of which are divided by your alpha. And so if you go to our website, you can see exactly who your financial advisor is. And they're broken up into 5 different areas. So from A to B, there is one, C to D, E through L, you have a different advisor, M through R, and then S through Z. And so we try to make it so that you can see that same particular financial advisor each and every time. The one thing that we would like to encourage each of you is to make sure that you register for classes first. As long as you register for classes, you then are able to see exactly what your financial aid can be, and also the exact charges of what the cost is for each of you, both on the undergrad side and the graduate side. For those of you who have decided that you needed a little bit of help and you did need federal financial aid, I hope that you have already filled out your FAFSAs and have even received your financial aid award. If you have not, please feel free to contact our office if you're having problems in doing that, and we'll be so happy to help you get that solved. The one thing that we do want to remind you is about a few dates. We do have some priority dates. Hopefully each of you have made that first date of March 1, which is a priority date for you to do your federal financial aid. And then usually July 1 is when our registration central opens for you. This year was a little bit later. So hopefully each of you have registered for your classes and have been able to have an opportunity to go into Registration Central and to, excuse me, and to go into Registration Central and actually see what your cost is going to be for this year. If not, feel free to call our office. We will have someone that will be able to help you through that process. I'm sorry. August 15th is kind of our deadline for you to make your first payment. That's when it's due. And if you're not able to make that first payment, you do need to talk to someone in our office. We do have a couple of discounts that you are able to get. If you pay all of your bill up front per semester, you're eligible for a 1% discount. And if you decide you would like to pay for the full year, you're eligible for a 3% discount. That 3% or 1% discount is after your financial aid is subtracted from your expenses, and then you will get that particular discount. A couple of things, you do need to make sure that your classes are taken care of. We do have what's called Drop Ad Day, and that will be on August 24th this year for freshmen. And so we want to make sure that you get your classes taken care of, and you make sure that you do your financial clearance. We do have a couple exciting things this year. We have what's called self-service banner. And a lot of you, if you have gone into Registration Central, are able to see that. And you're able to see not only your classes, but you're able to check your address, see your statement. You're able to also look at your profile. And so we want you to be able to do that. The other piece that it does tell you if you're missing any documents in order to have a financial aid offer. So make sure that you follow that and make sure you get those documents in if you have any missing. The important thing that I would like to encourage each of you is to make sure that you check your statement on a monthly basis so that if you do have any questions, you can ask right away. And any kind of letters or emails that you might receive from my office, don't hesitate to take a moment and read them, because usually there is some important information there that you will need. We look forward to having you here this year. The one thing that I wanted to emphasize, for those students that are domestic students, those are the ones that can fill out the FAFSA. For international students, you do not need to fill out the FAFSA if you're not a U.S. citizen. The other piece that I would like to encourage those students as freshmen that decide you do not want to take out any financial aid, you do not have to fill out the FAFSA. So I just wanted to give you that brief bit of information, and wanted to encourage each of you to make sure that you contact your financial advisor if you still have not received an award thus far, or if you have any questions, we would be happy to answer them for you. God bless you. We look forward to seeing you this fall, and safe travels.
Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that overview of our student financial services area. And indeed, it is an important piece of making your way to campus. I'd like to introduce my boss, actually, Dr. Frances Fainer, and she is our Vice President for Campus and Student Life. And I just asked her to come on and say a few words about residential living, getting into the residence halls, and also maybe what we expect here on campus in terms of student life in the coming year.
Hey, it's a privilege to join my wonderful colleagues that have gone before me that you've had a chance to meet. And along with them, I want to assure you that we've been working hard all summer, getting excited that we're about to meet and greet you here on campus. And as I get ready to share a few things, I may ask our moderator, Dr. Yeagley, to think about just maybe at the tail end of my thoughts to plan to share a little bit, since you are new students, about some of our plans for orientation. I thought that would be exciting for you to have on the agenda today. So yes, I wanted to mention that you should have received a letter from me, one that we worked hard to include a lot of critical information. Much of it was shared by Dr. Luxton at the beginning of our program this evening. But if perchance you did not receive a letter from me, we'll want to check out the listserv and find a way to get you that information separately. So you may want to go into the chat or the Q&A and mention that you may not have gotten that information from me today. And so it was primarily focused on some of the longed for adjustments that we'll be making in the fall, still with some care for how we will continue to mitigate risk. But it's our desire to have a full array of vibrant, live support and programming in the faith development area, in the social area. And certainly with this just being one of our first few years of having our Andreasen Center for Wellness open, we plan to have the full array of services there available for you. For those of you that may not be aware, if you are planning to register for a full load of classes, the membership in the Andreasen Center for Wellness is part of your general fee. And you'll have available all that's there, both in the aquatics area and in the fitness area, to help you be balanced and better able to keep that brain fed and alive and functioning well. So yes, both Dr. Yeagley and I work out of the Student Life office. And when you come into the campus center and go into the lobby, we should have all of our furniture back in the lobby looking like a real lobby when you arrive in the fall. And our offices are right at the end of the lobby where you'll see a large rounded area of glass. And for questions on any area of your transition to Andrews, we would love to be a source of answers and solutions for you and look forward to welcoming you there. We happen to be right across the hall from the Center for Faith Engagement, where we have a full team of wonderful, fun, faith-filled chaplains that have been planning all summer for the ways in which they're praying that God will use them to bless you and include you in the planning. It reminds me, Dr. Yeagley, that I think I should share with our new students, although all of our faces may seem new to you. In terms of our Student Life team, although we have the large portion of our team filled with seasoned experts, we also have at least 3 new individuals that we've been working on over the summer that will be joining our team. And I think that's going to provide a really fresh blend of new, fresh ideas to help us continue to seek the best ways to provide life outside of the classroom that enhances your learning experience and your life experience to be all that God is calling us to be. So maybe Dr. Yeagley, as you come on and talk just a little bit about orientation, you're welcome to share a little bit more about student involvement, leadership, and activities, since those are areas that you work with. And then I'll be available to respond to questions in the chat or the Q&A, but that's just an overview, and it's wonderful, even though I can't see your faces, to imagine them and know that you're going to bless and add to our campus because of the unique you that God has created. Thank you for this opportunity to share.
Thank you, Dr. Fainer. I appreciate that. Yes, I would like to say a few words just about our activities and involvement area. We have a new dean coming on, Dean De Leon. He's coming out of the New York area, and he's going to be here leading in our clubs and organizations effort. By the way, we have, usually between 60 and 80 different student clubs and organizations, and he will be assisting all of those student leaders and their sponsors. He will also be planning our very full menu of student activities from weekend to weekend, and will be the sponsor of our student association. So we're really looking forward to bringing him on board. Let me just say a few words before we move on to Dr. Stewart from the international area, that we do have two orientation programs. One is our undergraduate orientation, and then our graduate orientation. Now, if you're an undergraduate student and you're new, this is your first time in any college, we'd like you to arrive on Sunday, August 22. That will be our move-in day. It's also the day where we would like you to register for a first stop appointment, which is our welcome center, and we'll help you get an ID card. You'll have a chance to sit down with a first stop counselor who will kind of go through your registration status with you and help you think about any next steps that you may need to take. And there will be other things like registering your car there, activating your wellness center membership, which you don't want to miss out on that. The wellness center is just a fantastic place to work out on a daily basis. So we'll do all of that at first stop. And there's also a place there where you are registering for, or I should say, where you're reserving your residence hall room. They should be sending you a query asking you to sign up for a move-in time at the residence hall. So that's what you'll be doing on that first Sunday, is pretty much getting registration details finished, moving into your residence hall, and then we have a full week of activities planned. Before I say a little bit about that, let me just mention that if you're a transfer student, maybe you've just done a year at a local community college or another university, and now you're coming to Andrews, you may still want to come on Sunday and avail yourself of the full week of orientation activities. We absolutely welcome that. But if you feel like I'm a veteran, I'm a college or university veteran, I don't need the full orientation experience, you can come on Thursday and we'll still welcome you then, and we'll have an abbreviated orientation, a set of orientation activities going through the weekend and into your first day of classes on Monday. So that's the plan for undergraduate transfer and new students. Now, if you're international, you might wonder, when should I arrive? Well, we'd still like you here on Sunday, but your day will begin at 9 a.m. with a breakfast in the dining center, and you're going to go through an international student orientation at that time. And then once that's done, about noon, you will be able then to go to first stop and finish moving in if you have not done so. We do have a website up now, andrews.edu/orientation. You can go there for all of the details, and always reach out to us if you have any questions. Just a little note about our orientation activities throughout the week. One of the highlights is that we placed every student into a new student mentoring group, and we've got 42 current students who have signed up to be mentors. They're eager to be leading out in one of these groups. They actually do it in pairs, and you'll be put into a group with about 12 other students and these two new student mentors, and you're going to get to know each other. You're going to get lots of tips on how to navigate campus, and it's just a really great start to your year. So we'll look forward to seeing all of our undergraduate students on Sunday, August 22. And if you're a graduate student, we've thought about you too. And on Wednesday, August 25, we will have a full afternoon of orientation activities, beginning with a lunch and ending at about 5 p.m. Many of you will have program orientations as well. and I'll just speak for the seminary, which is one of our largest graduate programs. And they will be meeting on Thursday and Friday, and I think we'll have a time of worship together on Sabbath as well. So it'll be a busy time for graduates too. And we just hope these opportunities provide lots of time and opportunity for connection with other new students. I can't tell you how many times new students have told me the friends that I now have at Andrews, some of my best friends I met in my orientation group in that first week. So we look forward to seeing you there. And maybe with that, I will turn it over to Dr. Stewart, and he can give us a few tips for our international students.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to welcome all of the new and transferring international students. We're excited that you're going to be here. I know we've already been communicating with many of you. Maybe you haven't connected with us, though. I want to keep my time really short to give you time to ask questions. So I thought the best thing to do is to give you some contact information. You can email us, if you don't know this already, at iss@andrews.edu. I for international, S for student, S for services at andrews.edu. We also have a great web page. If you go to www.andrews.edu/services/international, I know that's a lot. So if you actually go to that main Andrews page and type in the search bar, International Student Services, the top search or the top link that comes up on your search will be our page. And I really encourage you to go to our page because you'll see two links and they'll be very obvious. The first link is an updates link, updates for international students. If you click on this link, you'll see frequently asked questions for fall 2021. And I know you probably have a lot of questions. I can answer them in this session a little later, but if you go to the frequently asked questions page, I bet you're going to find a lot of the answers to your questions. I encourage you to actually visit this Updates for International Students page beyond fall 2021 because it's a page that we update regularly to reflect new government requirements, news items, anything of interest to international students. So we keep this Updates for International page updated. That's why we call it the Updates page. So I really encourage you to go there. That's the first main link that you'll see when you go to our main webpage. The other link you'll see is a Contact Us. And this is the link that you'll want to click on if you want to talk with a specific International Student Services staff member, me, Associate Director Samara Ferreira, or International Financial Advisor Jackie Yates. You can email us directly. Our individual emails are there, email addresses are there, or you can actually schedule a Zoom appointment and talk one-on-one with us. For the last year or so, our office has been remote like so many other offices through the pandemic. We still are mostly remote. So right now, the best way to connect with one of us one-on-one is to go to the Contact Us page and set up a Zoom appointment. But we're excited to be opening up gradually this summer and into fall for in-person visits. And we're looking forward to seeing you in person as well. And that brings me to the last thing I want to talk about. Dr. Yeagley mentioned it briefly, but I want to reiterate the International Student Orientation. The main session, as Dr. Yeagley said, is Sunday, August 22nd, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. And I want to emphasize that this is a required session. So the US government wants international students with F1 or J1 visas to attend this orientation. And so our main session is August 22nd, Sunday, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Location is the campus center, second floor, and we will be serving breakfast. So there's that. But also the information you're going to find is very useful for your first year at Andrews and for being an international student at Andrews. So it's not something that you'll just have to sit through as a requirement. It's something that you'll find very useful. Now, I know some of you can't make the 22nd, and I know a lot of our graduate international students might not be able to make the 22nd. So we have a second alternate session orientation session on Sunday, August 29, which is 1 week later, Sunday, August 29. This one will be a shorter session, and unfortunately, there won't be breakfast. That's what makes it shorter, but we'll give you all of the information you need to get your requirement. And again, this is very useful information. And the location's the same as the first session, Campus Center, second floor. So on behalf of the International Student Services Office, Associate Director Samara Ferreira, International Financial Advisor Jackie Yates, and myself, we're very excited to see you soon. We want to answer your questions, help you in any way you can. So please visit the updates page, visit the contact us page. And of course, I'll stick around on this webinar in case you have more questions and specific questions to your situation. Thanks very much. We're looking forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Stewart. I appreciate that cap of everything international. And indeed, international students are a very important part of our campus community. And having married an Italian who had to come from Europe to the United States, and we worked through that whole process, I have a great respect for the number of hurdles and the effort that it takes to come to the United States, even to study. So thank you for making that investment and joining us very soon. So that brings us to the end of our presenters. I want to thank each one of them for being here this evening and kind of giving you an overview. And we hope that it has been helpful. We had hoped to go on to Facebook Live with this evening. We had a technical glitch, and so we're only here on this Zoom webinar. And many of you will be seeing it asynchronously in a recorded mode. So if you do have questions and we're not able to post them here live tonight, please feel free to reach out to us. Many of you already are in contact with a recruiter. They can always be helpful, or any other of our office staff. We really, really want to make certain that you're getting all the help that you need. Just a couple of questions that have come in, though. First of all, here's one that I will answer. On preview, many of you have seen a link there to, if you're an undergraduate student, you may have seen a link to first-year testing. That is, unfortunately, an old link, and we are seeking to get it removed. So I just wanted to let you know that you do not need to sign up for any online first-year testing. All of our first-year testing, just a couple of inventories, will be done once you arrive on campus. So no need to worry about doing anything in advance. So we appreciate that question. I just wanted to clarify that. And there's another question that has come in, and I think maybe Dr. Fainer could help us here with this one. And it's about parents. Do parents need to be tested for COVID before arriving on the 22nd and perhaps helping their family member move in?
I had hoped the president might have stayed for this one, Steve. I think we actually are trying to give this one a little more thought. So I'm going to give you my best sense on this, that because coming to a campus with several thousand individuals is very different than the care I'm sure that each of you are taking in your own smaller households, we would strongly recommend and ask that parents, just like students, plan to come with the same expectations that we've asked students. And that would mean that if they're not vaccinated, it would be best to have had a COVID test within 72 hours, but most importantly, to plan to mask up indoors and social distance. And that's what we will be expecting parents and guests just like our student population while they're here on campus. And I'll make a note of that, Dr. Yeagley, that I know I'll be doing a follow-up letter to the letter that I sent out today. And this question may come a little bit more for residence hall students with parents, because many of them choose to spend at least the full day helping with move-in. And so I think the most important thing, if they're not vaccinated, to plan to come, to wear masks and to social distance. But yes, anytime you're coming into a whole new environment with a couple thousand people, we would recommend a test within 72 hours. Would be protective for all. Okay.
Great, thank you. That's very helpful. And I'll just say this about our orientation activities for parents on that Sunday. We do have some activities. Some are outdoors, some are indoors. When you move into the residence hall, you'll actually be starting outdoors. It's kind of a drive-through process where you'll be checked in and receive your keys. And then, of course, you'll be going indoors to move into the residence hall. First stop will be indoors. So if you're not vaccinated, that would be a great time where we'd like to have you mask up. And we have a new student and parent convocation as well at the end of the day inside our Pioneer Memorial Church. But we will be outdoors at the end of that ceremony. We have a beautiful matriculation ceremony and then a welcome dinner. And those will be outdoors. So there'll be a mix there. It just would be good, particularly for those who aren't vaccinated, to have those masks handy. Okay, we've got another question here, and maybe Dr. Stewart, you could take this one. This is coming from an international student saying, I arrived 30 minutes late for international undergraduate orientation on Sunday the 22nd, wondering if they can still participate because they're arriving right at 9 a.m.
Right. Yeah, and I think it's my fault that was answered live. I mistyped that. I did type an answer to that, but it's a good question. And I think the answer is we're willing to be flexible for sure. And so, and I realize that people are traveling from all over the world and trying to meet these deadlines and these appointments. So what I said in my answer is what I can say generally is just let us know. Keep me informed of what your schedule is. We're willing to work with you. I think the spirit of the orientation and what counts for the requirement is that you understand the information. And especially that first orientation, that's a 3-hour session. A big part of that will be the breakfast, which is great. And so unfortunately, you might miss that part, but I think we can be flexible with that. I think the thing is just to keep us informed of your plans, and then we can find alternative ways to help you get the information you need to meet that requirement. So as long as you're letting us know what your plans are, we can find a way to help you.
Very good, thank you. I have another question here. This would be for Dr. Rosenthal. And just generally, if students are having a difficult time reaching their advisor, advisors, our faculty members can have widely varying schedules during the summer, but if they're having trouble reaching their advisor, what would your advice be at that point?
Sure. Yeah, sometimes it is hard to get a hold of faculty members, but what you can do is you can email explore@andrews.edu, and this will link you to the undergraduate education office, and you'll get an email or phone call, and we will help connect you with your advisor. Or if for some reason your advisor is out on a research trip or unavailable, either Erin Mouchon, who is our Assistant Dean for Undergraduate Initiatives, or Haley Sanchez, who is our Undergraduate Advising Coordinator, can actually help you get registered.
Excellent, thank you. There's a plan. I like that. So yes, please reach out for that help, and they can certainly get you to connected with your advisor. So I don't see any other questions here at the moment. I just wanted to make certain that if you're still looking for that orientation schedule, we did put it in the chat. But again, it's just andrews.edu/orientation. And we have schedules there for both undergraduate and graduate students. And be sure to check that out. And you will know exactly in advance what's going to be happening each day of that week. All right, we're almost on an hour now, and I think that we're going to give this a wrap, but we certainly appreciate each one of you joining us tonight and certainly appreciate those that will tune in later. Again, if we can be helpful here, we certainly want to be in these closing weeks. And please feel free to reach out to us by phone, by email, and we will do our very best to make certain that you get the help you need, even at this late hour. We understand that last minute things can come up, and we are prepared to work you through those as calmly and efficiently as we can. So thank you again, new students. Thank you again, parents, for joining us. And our prayers and blessings go with you in these final days as you prepare to join us on campus. I have to say, after a couple of decades working at Andrews, New Student Week is my favorite week. So much energy, a little bit of nervousness, but overall, just so much excitement and enthusiasm. And we can't wait to have that back on our Andrews campus, particularly on this side of a very difficult year and a half with the pandemic. So God's blessings to each one of you. Let me just say a prayer of blessing as we leave. Father, thank you for each one of our new students and their families. We pray that you will guide and direct them, give them strength as they complete the last steps before coming to Andrews University. We are looking so forward to having them be part of our family, and we pray that you will guide and protect and give them traveling mercies, we ask. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, we'll see you soon. Take care.